Okay, good morning. I know you guys have been watching me for a couple seconds because I see that on every one of these. Um, how are you? Oh my gosh. If you are watching live, like one of the few people who come and watch me live, hello, welcome back. I am so excited to be back. I am really we got hit with some COVID in our house. So I have once I recovered, I was helping two other family members get better. So I apologize for the hiatus. And I know that a lot of other people have been through this. So I know it's not uncommon, but I'm not going to go there today because we're going to talk about education. But just know there's treatment. There is treatment. Treatment. You know, yeah. So I'm going to say, like, stay out of the hospitals. There is treatment. Not a problem. Um, it might take a little while. Everybody's different. Shorter for some, longer for some, but there is treatment. And definitely boost your immune system. Okay, so there's my public service announcement for this morning. Oh my gosh. Well, for those of you who are joining me, because I've gotten emails lately, and I've been meeting so many different people, and I just want to say thank you because several of you have been writing in and saying that these YouTube videos have been really, really helpful for you, and that you appreciate them. And so thank you. And that's my goal. That's what I'm hoping. But for those of you who are just joining me or just watching this new and seeing, I always have my cup of tea with me. We actually started this calling it Tea with Mama D, but I'm a little removed from my teaching days now. I may be picking those back up again. Ooh, just letting you know. And my name was Mama D, right? To all my students and leading mission trips and so on and so forth in my camps. And but we're kind of a little bit away from that. So we shifted, and that's why it's now homeschooling, leadership, and life. Because that's really the topics we talk about, right? And this morning, I want to talk to you about and challenge you, every parent. I really would love for this just to go to every single parent out there, because it is foundational to making choices. And right now, so many people are confused, or even worse, they know what they want to do. And so many families want to homeschool, but they don't have a plan. They're scared, and they're just very unsure. And I totally get it. You're afraid. And this is foundational. This is the first step in my system, in my process, that I'm going to talk to you about this morning. And it is something that seems so basic, but including me, I hadn't thought about it really until I was discerning whether or not to homeschool. And one of the things that I did that it comes from all the different leadership training and stuff was to say, and my husband and I sat down and we talked about what the phrase a good education means to us. What does that really mean? What does that really look like? Right? We all say, I want my child to have a good education. Okay, well, I had never really sat down and went, what am I looking for? Right? We all kind of know, but it is so vitally important that you sit down and write it out, that you write it down, that you think it through. Okay, so my husband and I came to the conclusion that what we embraced and what we wanted as a good education was not about information. That was a small component of it. But we knew that if we built character and critical thinking and leadership, principles, the values and morals of our faith and of our family, that information was easy. But what's important is, how do you find it? What do you do with it when you find it, right? And everything stems from this definition for your family. And I can't tell you how many times, I mean, honestly, I think with the thousands and thousands of people that I've worked with or talked to or presented to, very few had really thought this through and written it down and came up with a definition for their family of what a good education means. And like I said, it seems pretty simplistic, but I can't stress to you enough that you have to start here. Please, 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 please make this one of the first things that you do. Because then if you are just really struggling with what to do with your child right now, that should tell you everything you need to know. Is that happening? If it's not happening, you got to find a different solution or it's going to eat you up. Ask me how I know that. I've said this so many times. I've said it in here numerous times. If you haven't heard it yet, I truly did not ever think of homeschooling, right? I was not one of those moms, oh, I wish I had been, who said, I'm going to homeschool from day one. That is the best thing to do for my kids. No way. Lawyer, didn't grow my own food at the time, didn't make my own clothes. I had that exact impression of homeschooling that everybody does. I don't want to ruin my kids. I had 4 kids in 4 years. Are you kidding? Like it never entered my brain until that concept of a good education and what I was seeing that was going on with my 2 that were in public school, and I had 2 more in preschool. Very, very happy with that at our church. But they were about to come in right behind them. I really was struggling. And when I hit on it, finding a book that said what public school parents can learn from homeschoolers, I went, oh, what can I learn? Once that concept got in my brain and I started to really understand what homeschooling meant, oh my gosh, it was torture, because what my kids were getting was not my idea of a good education. I was already doing so much of what the book talked about. And I thought to myself, all right, I have been praying about finding a solution. What is it that we need to do as a family? And here it is. But boy, did I go kicking and screaming, you guys. This is why I so get it. I understand where you are. I truly do. But you need to really define, what does a good education mean to you? And I want to challenge you that I think everybody would agree with those things that I talked about, that my husband and I included in our definition of character, critical thinking, and leadership. I just want to encourage you that are your kids getting that right now? And if they are, absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. And then another concept that we have in ours is love of learning. Okay, that was really important to us, that our children just love to learn, because that is a lifelong character trait, right? That is a lifelong gift that we could give them, is to want to learn, gain knowledge. But again, what needed to go with that was that really important critical thinking aspect, right? And so, as I said, everything in the decisions that we made, and how to school them, and where to school, or what classes, or how we were going to approach things, how we were going to set up our day, so much stems from that. And then the other steps in my process. So I also want to say, I have put together a workshop, okay? Because again, I am trying to reach as many people as I can and make it as affordable as I can. And I have put together a workshop, and I'm doing a virtual one on Saturday that will walk you through this process. I will walk you through it. You have homework though, so you've got to register now. So I hope you're watching this in time to register, but I will be scheduling another one, not next week. You'll be seeing, I'm going to come to you from a different location next week, but the following week, I will be posting today or tomorrow. We're going to be posting. I'm going to do hopefully multiple more workshops. I just want to get this out there and get people hopping on this. And honestly, we just launched this, right? So it's just getting out there. Feel free to share with even families who have their kids in school right now, but are worried about what's coming down the line. Tell them to do this, because then they will have a plan. They will have an idea. They will know what they want their school to look like. And it will just ease so much of the feeling of being trapped and the fear, honestly. And I've made it as affordable as I can. And that's why I'm, hopefully we'll fill them up, because I also am limiting so that I can make sure I can at least answer a couple questions from everybody as I walk you through what you've got. Because like I said, there is homework, and you have to come with your homework. You have to come with your homework. It makes all the difference. Okay. But it's $25. That's it. $25. And I know if I had something like this, there was a lot of trial and error, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing. My kids, they turned out great. I can tell you about a gabillion others. But this is a process and a system that I've put together, incorporating that leadership, incorporating all the different aspects of things that I did with my family and learned along the way. I want to shortcut it for you. And that I've put together, like I said, especially like with my leadership training, what I've incorporated and how I put it together, but just also, all the clients that I've worked with, it's not just my kids, right? There's a big difference. Because yes, there are curriculum that is really good, but what worked for my kids may not work for your kids or your situation. And unfortunately, that's what you're getting out there on Facebook all the time. And with a lot of people, the perspective that I have is so different, because I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of families, and there becomes a pattern, right? Which is what I'm going to try to help you see, right? To find the best curriculum, depending on what the different tests and assessments that you take, and all of that, right? And how all that comes together. Now, it is almost exactly what I use with my private clients, right? There are personality tests that I utilize with my clients that are very valuable to me when I'm evaluating and doing that, but it would just be too difficult and take too long for me to be able to teach that as well, and help you to assimilate that into the evaluation. So I believe in being completely transparent. So there is a difference. That the curriculum assessment system is what I do with my private clients, but this is that is one element that isn't in there. Just like I said, because it would just take too long. But I promise you, what you're doing and what we've got together here, you will leave with a much better understanding. You will leave with some very focused and targeted curriculum that you can look at, that you will have a much better feel for what you're looking for and what you want to utilize. Okay. So that you're not going to get what I call shiny curricula syndrome, SCS. Where as you start to homeschool more and more, you get out there, you're like, oh my gosh, that looks great. And I love that. And I love that. Well, I love elements of so many curriculum. There are so many out there. And I love elements of all of them, but we're trying to find the best fit. And so I know I've strayed a little bit from a good education, but it is foundational and it is the first step. So now see, if you're watching this and you've seen it ahead of time before you jump into one of my workshops, now you know, and now you have it, right? You know exactly what it is that we're going to be doing to help you get a plan in place, right? And if you kind of have a plan, or you've met me maybe at a park day, you've done one of my free calls, which by the way, I'm sorry, you guys, that's going to have to start going away. It's just getting too kind of crazy at this point. And So I'm trying to find ways, like I said, to really just meet everybody where with what they need. And a plan is what everybody needs, right? Or at least a head start. So even if you've met me and I've recommended a couple things and based on our conversation, but you really just want to get a real sense and a really good foundation, right? Then please come to these workshops. If there's only a handful of people there, it's just me and you guys and a handful, right? And I love that. I'm excited to meet moms again, whether it's on Zoom or locally. I am going to close down registration today, later this morning, or the early afternoon for my workshop tomorrow night in person. So if you're local here and want to head to Wheaton, we're meeting at Breakthrough Ideas, by the way, a phenomenal advocacy group in Wheaton, 703 Warrenville Road, but you got to register online. So go register there. And I would love to see you there too. Like I said, but you got to do it today because you got homework and it's not just you, because the parents need to do some stuff too, but it's also your kids. Okay. So you have to have time to be able to have, and it's not long. I'm telling you, it's not long, except you need to be able to gather as a family for one of the activities. And it's a vitally important one. Super, super important. So I'm giving you a heads up. But anyway, I have hit my limit because I promised myself this morning I wouldn't go past 20 minutes. And I'm so excited again to be back and to see you guys. And thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget, everybody should be thinking about and talking about and writing it down. What does a good education mean to me, mean to our family? All right. Have an awesome morning. I will catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Hopefully no tech glitches, but I will be in a very different location. So praying for no tech glitches next week. And I can't wait to see you then. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.